Okay, good morning. So my topic for today is top tips for booking more speaking engagements and uh, making more money as a speaker. So one of the questions that I get most often is, how are you booking so many speaking opportunities? I do 8 to 10 speaking engagements a month every month. And so I'm always getting questions like, how do you book so many? And how can I increase my brand through public speaking and get in front of more people and that sort of thing? And most importantly, how can I book more speaking engagements? So, and how can I make more money at it? So number one, because I work with a lot of meeting planners, there are some hard and fast rules when booking yourself as a speaker. My number one rule is, don't be a diva or a divo. And as speakers and meeting planners, I look for several things when I'm booking speakers. Are they easy to work with? Do they show up on time? What do they bring to the table? In other words, can they help to promote the event? Can they help to fill seats? Because as speakers, you know, that's usually our number one issue when we're putting together an event. Will they help promote the event? Are they demanding, requiring multiple changes to marketing materials? Do they want to change the schedule? Are they making themselves indispensable to me so that I want to work with them on a number of projects? One of the rules, one of the things that I tell speakers all the time is, meeting planners talk to one another on a regular basis. Tanya Hoffman, who's on this call, is the president of the Public Speakers Association. And she and I talk on a pretty regular basis. And she'll recommend speakers to me. I'll recommend speakers to her. She might ask me, you know, Tony, what do you think of this speaker? And if I've had a bad experience with them, then I'm going to tell her, because it's my reputation on the line. And I'm going to say, do not book this speaker because, and I'm going to give them a reason. It's not a matter of mouthing a speaker. It's a matter of protecting your reputation as a meeting planner and someone who works with speakers on a regular basis. So what I want to be able to do is to say, listen, this speaker is really terrific. They give really great content, really great value. People seem to really like them. I recently, and this is a really great case in point, I recently worked with a speaker who spoke at one of my events early this year, who nobody liked, no one in the room liked, and that reflected on me, because if I book a speaker and a couple of people say, well, I didn't really connect with this speaker, that's one thing. But if most of the people in the room are coming to me and they're saying, I did not like the speaker, and here's why, and they're being really specific, then I got to look at the speaker and I've got to go back to them and say, you know what, I'm hearing some really negative things about you. If we're going to move forward, then a couple of things are going to have to change. Well, subsequently, I decided not to book the speaker again, because they were way too divisive in terms of how they interacted with the audience. When you get that kind of feedback, that carries over into everything you're going to do. So if you're looking to fill up your calendar, make sure that your own stuff, your own stuff and your professionalism is in check. Make sure that you walk away with the audience feeling positive about the experience and not negative. Here's my one of my other tips: have multiple topics to speak on. Meeting planners are always looking for topics that they can get their audience really excited. Giving a talk about networking is great, but giving a talk about networking for women is even better, because it's not a topic that's really common. Make sure that your topics stand out. I work with a lot of speakers. I book over 400 speakers a year on stages. And one of the things I always tell them is, have multiple topics you can speak on, because when a meeting planner comes back to me and they say, Tony, what topics can you speak on? I have 30 different topics. It's really a matter of what are they looking for. And I always ask them, what do you think your audience would be most interested in hearing? Depending on, what I send them or what topics I suggest, I usually give them my top 3 topics. But depending on what topics that they suggest, that's going to get me a booking more often than not. So have multiple topics. Don't just talk about, child rearing. Talk about what it means to be a working parent. Make sure that you give the meeting planner multiple options so that you are going to be booked more than 50% of the time. Okay. Here's my other topic, my other tip. Your one sheet should always have several topics that fit neatly under one umbrella. So for example, even though I give 30 topics, or I have 30 topics that I can speak on, all of them fall somewhere under small business, which means that if that's my core audience, I want to come up with as many topics that I can speak on as possible. I speak on everything from cold calling basics to influential networking, which I'll be speaking on tomorrow. Give great content. This is my other really great tip. Give great content and you'll book more speaking gigs. Here's a really great case in point. I spoke at a buddy of mine at his entrepreneur and startup incubator last week in Stockton, California. There were maybe 30 people in the room, 35 people in the room, and out of those 30 to 35 people, I got 3 speaking engagements out of it. I also got a paid engagement that I'm going to be doing in the next couple of months. Part of the reason why is, and I only spoke for an hour, but part of the reason why that was important is because the content that I gave was relevant to the audience, which brings me to another tip. Speakers have a tendency of speaking on the topics that they want to speak on instead of the topics that are applicable to the room. So make sure that if you are speaking, you understand who you're speaking in front of. So, for example, if I'm speaking to small business owners, every topic that I'm going to speak on has to do with small business issues that are relevant to the audience. Make sure that you speak on something that the audience is interested in, not on topics that you want to speak on. Okay. One of my other tips is pepper the room with people who you want to do business with. This is a huge, huge issue with speakers, and speakers who work with me. Will tell you that it's my number 1 rule after. Technically, it's my number 2 rule after don't be a diva or divo. That means pepper the room with people you want to do business with. You have met every speaker on this call, every speaker out there has networked with people, has people that they've collected business cards from. You put them in your database. Sometimes you forget them, whatever. Go through your database and ask yourself, who do I want to get in front of? Who is likely to hire me? Who's likely to book me for a speaking engagement? Send them an invitation and let them know, listen, I'm going to be speaking at XYZ. I would love it if you can come as my guest. I mentioned on an earlier call that I'm going to be speaking at Google later this year, September 25th, I believe it is. And I have an opportunity to speak at Oracle as well. Those opportunities came my way because I peppered the room with people who could get me in front of people I wanted to do business with. So that didn't happen by accident. I literally went through my database and said, okay, let's invite these people to come and hear me speak. And if they like what they hear, they will usually hire me to give another talk. So the speakers who speak at my events, for example, who help to fill the room are usually the ones who walk away with the business. So when a speaker tells me, well, I'm doing a lot of speaking, but I'm not walking away with business, I'm not putting money in my pocket, one of the questions I ask them is, well, who are you peppering the room with? Who are you inviting to come and hear you speak. And inevitably I hear, well, I'm too busy. This is your business. You can't be lazy about it. You've got to strategize and figure out, who am I going to get in front of? Who's likely to hire me? Who's likely to refer me to someone who can get me in front of people, in front of the Googles and the Oracles and the Facebooks and the Twitters and that sort of thing. So just keep that in mind. So one of my last tips is, should I write a book to get more speaking gigs? Writing a book can be helpful. It's not really necessary, but writing a book can certainly help book more speaking engagements for you and help you fill up your calendar. If you, and it doesn't have to be War and Peace, all of my books are less than 200 pages long because I don't have that kind of attention span. So make sure that when you're writing a book, you're keeping it simple. You can self-publish. That's the fastest and the easiest way to do it. You get to really monetize it and use it in any venue that you want, and it's always good. A couple of other really quick tips. One of the questions that I always get is, can I trade stages with you? And my rule is this: I only trade stages with people who I know, like, and trust. I generally don't trade stages with speakers because I always get the short end, where someone will speak on my stage and then they conveniently forget to book me to speak at one of their events. And so I've just sort of gotten into the habit of just not, trading stages unless it's with someone like Tanya Hoffman, who she and I have worked together on a number of projects. And I know, like, and trust her, and so I always tell Tanya, you can speak on anything that I'm doing, and it's always good. In terms of places to speak, go through your data, and this really depends on where you want to give, what your subject matter is, what type of speaker you are, that sort of thing. But I would say check out women's organizations, professional organizations like NABO. The SBA is usually really good as far as booking speakers. They don't pay you, but you can usually make an offer and exchange business cards, and they help to market whatever the topic is. Look into the SBDC, Small Business Development Centers, in your area or around your area. You can also go outside of your area if you are looking to travel. I've got a working relationship with the SBA, Small Business Administration, in San Francisco, in New York, in San Diego, and a few other places. And so if I know I'm going to be in that area, I will usually shoot them an email and say, listen, I'm going to be there on this day. Can you book me the day before? And I always try and book the SBA at the day before my solo event, because that helps me to pepper the room as well. It helps me to fill the room, because I can just sort of invite people from the SBA into my other event as well. Look into your local libraries. A lot of times they will have a budget to pay speakers if it's something that it's a program they really want to bring to the facility. So it's usually a nominal amount, but $150, $200, $300, for 90 minutes worth of work, definitely worth it. Go to, and this is kind of my number one tip if you want to fill up your calendar, go to Eventbrite and type in conferences, workshops, conventions, that sort of thing. Eventbrite is nothing but, there are other events there, but it's mostly business conferences and different workshops for learning opportunities. And one of the things that I always do is I'll click the contact button and I will send the meeting planner an email, and I'll say, listen, I'm going to be in your area. Are you booking speakers? Here's my bio. I never send my one sheet. My one sheet doesn't get me any speaking engagements. The bio, however, does. And I will send the bio to the meeting planner and ask, listen, are you booking speakers? And would you be open to booking me as a speaker? And inevitably, I will get a return email saying, yes, we'd like to book you. Also, I mentioned that I book over 400 speakers a year on stages. 90% of those inquiries come from Eventbrite. These are speakers who are emailing me and asking, can they speak at, my women's conference or my small business empowerment conference, whatever. And it works out really, really well. So those are just a few tips in case you're looking to fill up your calendar in the coming year. If you're looking to make more money as a speaker, my final tip that I'm going to leave you with is to make your offer. All of us make an offer when we're speaking. If you're making an offer, make it something that most people can say yes to. So, for example, my offer to you today is, because I do so many speaking opportunities, and you can email me directly at awil267-487@aol.com. If you register for 3 or more of my speaking opportunities, which run anywhere from $150 a pop to $475, that's the most expensive. Register for 3 or more by Saturday, and I will give you 3 or more speaking opportunities for free. So that's my offer to you. That ends at the end of the week on Saturday, so you've got until Saturday. If you would like to see a list of those speaking opportunities, email me directly or send me an instant message on Facebook, Tony Wilkins, and I'm happy to send that to you. And with that, I want to thank you.